So God's wisdom is being made known by the church to the principalities as we preach the gospel. When I'm preaching the gospel in a church, I'm not just preaching to the people there, I'm making known the wisdom of God to powers and principalities. You don't think demons and principalities and powers listen to what we're saying and hear our preaching? Friend, we are changing mindsets. If you don't know what a principality is, a principality, these are fallen angels over nations, angels over regions. Satan assigns his fallen angels over regions and nations. Paul talks about principalities as fallen angels in Ephesians 6. Daniel 10 talks about the principality over the region of Persia. Now they're called principalities because they are a prince. It's prince over palities, which is territories or regions. And back in those days, the princes were above the kings. So now it's a king, then a prince. Back then in Daniel's day, in Daniel 10, it was a prince, then it was a king. So principalities are real demonic spirits, high-ranking demons that work in heavenly places. I won't go into, are they in the second heaven? I'm not getting into all that. They're in heavenly places calling shots, okay? So principalities, they command lower ranking demons to work inside people, to work inside things, and they are controlling largely cities, countries, and nations, okay? These angels run countries by influencing laws that create principles which change how people live. So these principalities are principle changers. They get into education and they put principles in books to get the young people to believe certain things that are anti-God. The principalities, these high-ranking demons, they get into media to make us think a certain way. They get into music to change the way we think and how we live. These are principalities that change principles. Remember this. Demons love to change principles. We live by principles. If you're going to go do something, you say, well, that's wrong to do because my principles, I've been taught that I shouldn't do this, and my principles teach me that. The Bible teaches us godly principles. The same way the Bible teaches principles, the media teaches principles. Movies teach principles. Books teach principles. Schools teach principles. And this is how the principalities work. Let me give you an example. Many of you would never commit adultery. You would not commit adultery, but you will watch adultery. Why is adultery so popular in movies right now? Why is every Tyler Perry movie that you guys love to watch, many of you, so popular with adultery? Because principalities change principles and they change the way that we think about adultery. So now because the movies say adultery is not that big of a deal, the culture says adultery is not that big of a deal. So the principalities are changing principles. You guys don't realize that demons are controlling society. The devil is the god of this world. You think the culture knows the devil's using them? Of course not. You think, now some celebrities do, but you think for the most part, people realize the devil's using them? In fact, the devil was using Judas and Judas didn't even know it. And he was an apostle, the Bible says. And Jesus is like, get behind me, Satan. Even Peter, you're letting the devil use you. So if the devil's using Peter, if the devil's using Judas, you don't think the devil can use secular companies? You don't think that, oh, I'm preaching strong tonight. Let me get a 1 in the chat if you're with me. You don't think the devil can use teachers? You don't think the devil's using the LBGD, every letter community to enact principles to sexualize our children and to groom our children? Of course not. Now, would you engage in witchcraft? Many of you, come on, would you? No, you wouldn't, but you'll watch witchcraft. All these demons have normalized magic, normalized witchcraft. They put magic and witchcraft in kids' movies. They call it Disney, and you have no problem with it. So they're changing. I'm preaching strong. They're changing the principles of culture, and the principalities are doing it. And we just turn a blind eye and say, oh, it's not a big deal. It's just witchcraft. You wouldn't do it, but you watch it. You make decisions and your life is governed by principles, what you believe. Ephesians 2:2 says, in which you used to live when you followed the ways of this world, and the ruler of the kingdom of the air. This is Ephesians 2:2. The ruler, that's the devil, of the kingdom of the air. What? There's a kingdom of the air? Yes. The spirit who is now at work in those who are disobedient. So Paul is saying you used to follow the laws and the principles, here we go, of this world. Who set the principles of this world? The ruler of the kingdom of the air, who is Satan. Principalities and powers, rulers of darkness, thrones, dominions. Above our head is thousands of principalities and demons changing laws. Meanwhile, we play church. I don't understand this. Principalities and demons and powers ruling in the air, controlling the world, going after the church, and we're busy trying to find out who's a false teacher and who's not. Why don't we go fight the devil instead of each other? We're like the only ones that love friendly fire. I don't understand this. Look at my shirt. Stronghold destroyer. I'm not trying to destroy other Christians. I'm trying to destroy strongholds. I'm going to war. You are in a battle. Let me prove this one last time to you guys. Meanwhile, we play church while they're running the nation. Let me show you this. Look at the laws right now compared to 50 years ago. Okay? Look at the laws. I wouldn't even go into it because I'll get demonetized. Everything you can think of has changed the laws. You can go to the beach and see the laws have changed. You can go to the movies and see the laws have changed. You can go to the mall and see things are different from 50 years ago. Why? Because principles have changed. The last 50 years, principalities have been at work. And trust me, this whole video I just came out with about pedophiles being considered normal now, what do you think that is, friend? You don't think that's principalities? You don't think that's demons? You don't think demons are controlling language and controlling what we're getting taught? They're now saying pedophiles are normal and okay and you shouldn't no. They said don't vilify pedophiles. Pedophiles are villains. They are criminals. So yes, we vilify them. We're not changing that. We have to push back against these principalities because these are demons controlling people. And the church, the Bible says, preaches to those principalities. We make God known to them and display his power. So when I'm teaching you, I'm not just teaching you, I'm also teaching and preaching to principalities and powers and coming against them while I preach. We're coming against their assignments. Now, I don't think we're supposed to try to go up in the second heaven and fight them because the Bible doesn't command us to go up and try to bind them. We fight. Our jurisdiction is casting demons out of people. That's your job as a Christian. You cast demons out of people. Your job is not to try to pray to go into the second heaven and fight principalities. You fight them indirectly by fighting low-ranking demonic spirits that live in people. Jesus did not say, go into Rome and fight bind principalities. Jesus did not say, Peter, I want you to go into Jerusalem and bind principalities. No, they were not doing that. They were going and casting demons out of people, therefore weakening principalities. So that is our job. So no, I don't believe in projecting into the second heaven and trying to fight principalities. I would, trust me, stay out of the second heaven. It's not a place that you want to play around and mess with. Do not try to go against principalities because you don't have the jurisdiction. I have a video on that on the channel, but that's principalities.